Welcome to Hero. Who do you think would win in a battle between Thragg and Hulk, the clash of two unstoppable Furies? Thragg, the most ruthless leader of the Viltrumite race in the Invincible universe, stands as the embodiment of absolute power and unrelenting cruelty. He possesses physical strength far beyond most other Viltrumites, supersonic flight speed, planet-level durability, and regeneration so rapid that he's nearly immortal. With his strategic intellect and thousands of years of combat experience, Thragg is considered the most perfect warrior of the Viltrumite Empire, a being born to conquer and destroy. Hulk, on the other hand, is the pure symbol of rage. His strength increases infinitely with his anger, making him one of the most powerful beings to ever exist. He can shatter worlds, heal almost instantly, and endure unimaginable damage. In this battle of pure fury, Thragg has the edge in combat skill, but Hulk possesses limitless potential power. Their confrontation wouldn't just be a fight of strength, but a clash of two primal instincts, one born to dominate, the other destined to destroy. Before we dive into the analysis, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you so much for your support. Grand Regent Thragg is the main antagonist of Image Comics' Invincible series and also plays a major role in Invincible universe. Battle Beast. He is the strongest Viltrumite warrior, the ruler of the Viltrum Empire, and commands it with absolute power. From birth, Thragg was rigorously trained in tactics, politics, and warfare, prepared to become the next leader after the death of Emperor Argal. When tasked with finding Argal's rightful heir, he abandoned his mission after the Scourge virus nearly wiped out the Viltrumite population, believing that he alone was worthy of ruling what remained of the Empire. In Invincible, Thragg stands as the most dangerous enemy of both Invincible and his father, Omni-Man. He is the embodiment of cruelty and limitless power, a living symbol of survival instinct and absolute faith in the doctrine of the strong shall survive. Over the centuries, Thragg has evolved into a perfect warrior and a cold, calculating strategist who acts solely for the ultimate good of Viltrum. Every decision he makes, whether it's declaring war or punishing traitors, is carefully calculated to strengthen the Empire's dominance. Thragg rules through fear, through strength, and through an unyielding desire to restore Viltrum to the glory he believes is its destiny. Thragg possesses extraordinary intellect, a commanding presence, and rare self-control among his kind. Unlike many other Viltrumites often driven by impulsive tempers and primal instincts, Thragg approaches both combat and leadership with calculated precision and cautious intent. To him, mercy is a fatal weakness, loyalty is currency, and bloodline is sacred. His leadership style is defined by iron will and uncompromising demands, especially toward his hybrid offspring, whom he ruthlessly pushes to the limits of their strength and tactical cunning. Beneath his brutal exterior and the burning glare of a Viltrumite warrior lies a soul torn by conflict. Memories of his homeworld's destruction and Emperor Argal's death continue to haunt him, feeding his inner pain and fueling his rage and iron rule. Thragg doesn't act merely as a dictator, but as a man burdened with the weight of a dying empire, willing to sacrifice anything to preserve the legacy he holds sacred. In his behavior, he embodies a deep paradox between ruthless leadership and suppressed emotion. Beneath the hardened shell lies a hint of pride and rare tenderness, though any sign of weakness or doubt is met with his cold disdain or merciless violence. As the most powerful Viltrumite in history, his raw strength eclipses that of any of his peers and nearly every superpowered being on Earth or across the galaxy. During the assault on Viltrum, he effortlessly smashed Space Racer, struck Kid Omni-Man so hard his jaw and arm were torn apart, and swatted away both Invincible and Omni-Man as if they were mere annoyances. His power becomes even more terrifying when driven by emotion. Witnessing the destruction of Viltrum, he was consumed by fury, decapitating Thetis and crushing his skull without hesitation. He then unleashed a brutal onslaught on Invincible, nearly shattering his skull between his fists in a fit of unrestrained rage. He easily overpowered Battle Beast, seizing his jaw and hurling him through space. Thragg casually impaled Omni-Man through the abdomen without resistance and nearly gouged out Invincible's eyes, stopping only for tactical reasons, not mercy. Even General Craig was rendered helpless as Thragg halted his advance with nothing more than an open palm. After the fall of Viltrum, Thragg suddenly appeared on Earth, bringing with him a storm of power that seemed to choke the very air around him. He charged at Invincible with terrifying speed, his iron grip clamping around his opponent's neck before hurling him through the sky like a worthless fragment of debris. His mere presence alone was enough to make Omni-Man and Invincible cautious. He was like a god of war descended from the heavens, suppressing every living being around him simply by existing. During the battle in orbit, Thragg gripped Invincible's throat with one hand while calmly facing both Alan and Oliver at the same time. Even when the Scourge virus, the very weapon that once nearly wiped out the entire Viltrumite race, threatened their survival, he still held the upper hand. Alan, once considered a formidable rival to the Viltrumites, could do nothing but watch, knowing any move would mean death. When Monster Girl and the Guardians of the Globe ambushed him, Thragg effortlessly countered every attack, moving like a cold whirlwind, taking down each opponent without breaking a sweat. His fury was something no one could contain. In an instant, he crushed an alien skull with one hand, the sound of cracking bone and splattering blood echoing like a brutal declaration. When facing dinosaurs, his punches hit like sledgehammers. Every blow sent his enemy flying, and the force was so devastating that Dinosaurus' jaw was torn apart on impact. No one could stand against his brutality once his rage was unleashed. On the cold surface of the moon, Thragg faced Nolan. He completely dominated him, overpowering Nolan with sheer strength and superior combat skill. When he lost control, Thragg unleashed a relentless barrage of punches that distorted Nolan's face and sent his body flying across the void, a living testament to the fury of a general who once ruled an entire galaxy. Even when surrounded by elite Viltrumite warriors like Craig, Thula, Anissa, and Lucan, it took the combined effort of all of them just to temporarily restrain him, and that was before Thragg had even begun to fight back. His power was truly tested only twice. Once when the Ragnars attacked and overwhelmed him until Battle Beast arrived, and again when he faced Battle Beast himself, the warrior sent to end his reign. Their clash became one of the most brutal and blood-soaked battles in Viltrumite history. In their final deadly confrontation at the core of the sun, Thragg's incredible speed was hindered by the extreme conditions and his own wounds. In the end, he met his death at the hands of Invincible, consumed by the blazing inferno of the Sunday. I really hope you'll subscribe to the channel. It helps us more than you can imagine, and you are truly amazing. Thank you so much. Now, let's talk about Hulk. Robert Bruce Banner, the man later known as the Hulk, was born into a deeply troubled family. His father, Dr. Brian Banner, was a brilliant scientist consumed by jealousy and fear of his own creation. While his mother, Rebecca, showered Bruce with unconditional love, Brian saw his son as the cursed result of a genetic nightmare. He believed that his past radiation experiments had altered his DNA, making Bruce something unnatural. That paranoia slowly turned into madness, leading to years of cruel abuse. In a violent outburst, Brian murdered Rebecca and was institutionalized in a psychiatric hospital, leaving young Bruce scarred by trauma and grief. After the tragedy, Bruce was taken in by his aunt, Susan Banner. She was kind and gentle, understanding the pain buried deep within her nephew, and raised him with love and compassion, helping him find a sense of peace he had long lost. As he grew older, Bruce became a brilliant theoretical physicist, widely recognized for his research on nuclear energy and gamma radiation. His genius caught the attention of General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross and the US military, who recruited him to develop a new kind of weapon, the gamma bomb, advertised as a device capable of neutralizing targets without causing human casualties. However, during the first test, Bruce noticed a young teenager named Rick Jones wandering into the test site. Without hesitation, Bruce rushed in to save him, but the bomb detonated. The massive wave of gamma energy struck Bruce head-on, tearing his cells apart while simultaneously awakening something within a gateway between life and death, opening the path to what would become known as the Green Door. From that moment on, Bruce Banner was no longer an ordinary man. The gamma radiation had unleashed a hidden being within him, a spirit of rage imprisoned since childhood. Whenever fear or anger overtook him, Bruce transformed into a towering green giant of unimaginable strength, a creature the world would soon know by one name, Hulk. With his uncontrollable destructive nature, Hulk quickly became classified as an Omega-level threat to humanity. The world's fear of him led to relentless military hunts, forcing Bruce into years of isolation and running for his life. The only person capable of reaching the humanities still buried within the Hulk was Betty Ross, Bruce's lover, and later his wife, whose presence alone could calm the monster and bring him back to human form. Tragically, Betty's father, General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, was the very man leading the campaign to hunt Bruce down, viewing him as a menace that had to be destroyed at all costs. In his search for a cure, Banner faced not only the world's fear but also the inner war within himself, the battle between man and monster, reason and rage. Despite being misunderstood and feared, Hulk proved time and time again that he was more than just destruction. He became a symbol of heroism and resilience, joining Earth's greatest defenders like the Avengers, the Defenders, S.H.I.E.L.D., and the Smash team, fighting to protect life itself. With his overwhelming strength, Hulk defeated threats that no other hero could handle alone, securing his place as one of the mightiest warriors ever to exist. Yet deep inside Bruce, a silent struggle always remained, a conflict between intellect and instinct, between the human and the beast. In moments of extreme tension, his adrenaline would surge, triggering terrifying explosions of raw power. When his fury reached its peak, that power could be enough to destroy entire worlds. Organizations like the Initiative and brilliant minds such as Mr. Fantastic have classified the Hulk as a top-tier Omega-level threat, one capable of planetary destruction. Garrick even called him the first true Omega threat, while many heroes have admitted that Hulk is the strongest one there is. Even among the ranks of the Avengers, Hulk stands apart as an unmatched force. Whether fighting alongside legends like Hercules, Thor, or Iron Man, his power is often seen as superior. Doctor Strange once acknowledged Hulk as one of the most powerful beings in the entire universe, and Apocalypse himself believed that Hulk's energy was vast enough to challenge the Celestials, the very gods of creation. Kang the Conqueror, the master of time travel, once declared that Hulk is the strongest Avenger. He claimed that the energy from Hulk's gamma-charged heart alone could power a machine strong enough to defeat the entire classic Avengers lineup. According to several records, Hulk's potential surpasses the combined strength of the four most powerful Avengers. Even Umar the Unrelenting once warned that the Worldbreaker Hulk carried a threat capable of shaking the very fabric of Earth. 616's reality, suggesting his rage could destroy entire galaxies. Across every dimension, Hulk remains unique. His strength has no limits except those bound by his own emotion. Hulk's reputation extends far beyond Earth, echoing across the cosmos as the embodiment of raw, unstoppable power. The Skrulls call him the strongest mortal on the planet, while the alien leader Kurgo once declared him the most powerful being ever born from Earth. Silver Surfer, the wanderer among the stars, admitted that Hulk is the mightiest mortal he has ever faced. Even Skyfather Odin, the supreme god of Asgard, affirmed that Hulk is the strongest mortal Thor has ever encountered. Each personality within Hulk holds a different level of strength. The Grey Hulk, often calm and calculating, is the weakest form. In contrast, the Green Scar represents the peak of Hulk's physical power. After being exposed to the explosion from the ship's warp core that brought him to planet Sakaar, Green Scar's strength grew beyond all measurable limits. Meanwhile, personalities like Immortal Hulk and Devil Hulk possess comparable, if not equal, power enough to overpower an entire team of assembled Avengers. Hulk has defeated countless superpowered opponents, including the genius Mr. Fantastic. He can clap his hands together to create massive shockwaves, producing a sound so powerful it tears through the sky like a hurricane. That same force can disperse Sandman's attacks, extinguish Johnny Storm's flames, and deal critical damage to Red Hulk. Hulk can endure planet-shattering impacts, survive near-range planetary collisions, and withstand the most devastating planet-destroying attacks from the Galaxy Master, even when those attacks were amplified tenfold. He survived a massive blow from Phoenix-empowered Cyclops, devastating strikes from Zom-empowered Doctor Strange, and a huge explosion unleashed by a slightly hungry Galactus. Hulk has even endured magical energy calculated to be over 100 times stronger than Hercules' most powerful strikes, as well as the pressure and kinetic force of a literal supernova exploding against his body. After being drained by Iron Man, who wore his newest celestial armor, Hulk still survived blasts, carrying the force of 100,000 supernovas. He also withstood blows from the Sentry that matched the destructive power of 1 million supernovas. Even while relatively calm, Hulk endured several mighty strikes from Zeus himself. Cyclops' full power optic blast, which he claimed could split a small planet in half, caused Hulk only minor damage. Even Cyclops' ultimate attack failed to harm him, it merely slowed him down. A blazing interdimensional portal erupted between Earth and the planet Viltrum, tearing open like a scar between two worlds. From within the light, Thragg emerged, his eyes cold and unyielding, carrying the pride of a warlord who believed that only absolute power deserved to rule the universe. He saw Hulk as a threat to the order he sought to maintain. To Hulk, Thragg was nothing more than an arrogant challenger who dared to provoke his wrath, a being foolish enough to stand against the primal fury that burned within him. No words were needed. The battle began the instant Thragg lunged forward with a speed beyond human comprehension. His first punch sent Hulk crashing through an entire mountain range, shattering stone and tearing the air apart. But from the dust and rubble, Hulk rose again, his body glowing with radiant green light, his eyes blazing like twin stars igniting the night. His roar thundered across the skies, shaking the heavens as cracks of lightning split the firmament. Thragg unleashed a relentless barrage of devastating blows, but he quickly realized that every strike only made his opponent stronger. Hulk countered with earth-shattering punches that fractured the ground and sent shockwaves rippling across the oceans, spawning violent storms of pure energy. The two warriors clashed for hours, their battlefield stretching from the skies to the ocean depths, from the stratosphere to the edge of the atmosphere. Thragg's blood stained the air crimson, while Hulk's gamma energy burned bright like a second Sunday. Desperate, Thragg called upon the full might of the Viltrumites, locking his hands around Hulk's throat in a final, furious attempt to tear him apart. But then, Hulk's voice roared like thunder through the chaos. "The madder I get, the stronger I become." His rage exploded beyond all limits. His body swelled, his muscles surging with unstoppable power, and waves of gamma energy erupted around him like a cataclysmic storm. For the first time, Thragg felt true fear. He staggered, his body cracking apart, blood spraying into the void as his fiery eyes met the green titan before him, a living embodiment of destruction. Then, Hulk, now pure power incarnate, delivered the final blow. The planet shook to its core as the impact roared through the void. When the explosion faded, only Hulk remained standing amid the ruins. Thragg lay still, buried beneath the ashes of his own ambition to rule the universe. Hulk was the victor. I hope you enjoyed this battle. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Follow me if you liked it. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching.